story of Richard the Lionheart, or the statue of Richard the Lionheart with his very faithful minstrel. And I will tell you
rocks where you see them.
back from the Crusades with his minstrel Blondel.
Oh, I think it's coming up more. I think it's coming up more.
Ready? Because we are coming up to the Pearl of the Wachau Dürnstein, the ruins of the castle of Dürnstein coming up on the left-hand side. And of course, that story has something to do with Richard the Lionheart, and I'd like to tell you all about that right now. Well, the ruins of the castle of Richard the Lionheart, and we can see the ruins up there at 12 o'clock already. They crown a craggy height 500 feet above the river. The small medieval town below it is built on a huge rock terrace that protects it from floods, and it is surrounded by its old city walls and towers. The name of the town actually means the dry rock. Dürr in German means skinny or dry. Stein means rock or stone. Dürnstein also profited from its strategic position at the entrance or the ending case of the Wachau Gorge for anyone sailing upriver. But above all, the view is dominated by the prominent white and blue Baroque tower of the monastery, and you can see the tower right in front of us already, blue and white. The tower is basically a riot of statues and decoration and resembles a piece of delicate Meissen porcelain. Both the tower and the monastery were built in the 1700s from the profits made when the abbot very successfully dealt in the wine and wheat trade. Now let's get to our story with King Richard the Lionheart. Well, the King of England, Richard the Lionheart, really was held prisoner in the castle. He actually managed to offend the Duke of Austria during the crusade to the Holy Land, and was subsequently arrested as he attempted to find his way home via Austria after having been shipwrecked off Italy. He traveled in disguise, but apparently made the mistake of trying to pay for a meal with an English coin. He was arrested and kept in the castle until the English paid a huge ransom, which was used to build the city of Neustadt, or Wiener Neustadt as we call it. Wiener Neustadt is located south of Vienna and was supposed to resemble Vienna. Actually, Wiener Neustadt later on was bombed away during World War II, right? And the Allied forces throw bombs on Wiener Neustadt. Well, parts of the ball-bearing factory that we know from Schweinfurt already was also located in Wiener Neustadt. But let's get back to Richard the Lionheart. Legend tells that no one knew where Richard was held, and that his faithful minstrel, Blondel, toured Europe singing under the walls of all the castles he could find. He sang a song known only to himself, Richard. Finally, and after the other umbrellas here, that is actually a spa now. You can get healthy in there. And I'll tell you a story about that spa after a moment. I would like to give you some moments of peace and quiet so you can look at that beautiful church here at Dürnstein. Small perspectives. her lover Dodiel fired the Egyptian guy, the son of the owner of Harrods, and they were trying.
Pictures of that one or two back there. Comes another church. I don't know what town this is.
Also, again 1.7 million, so that in the eastern part of Austria, there live half of them all. Later on, I tell you.
There's the church over
why
there.
This is quite strange and not so much anyway, as you may think. But first of all, have a last look to the left-hand side before we leave and turn in direction to the city. You see that there we have the Danube city. Was constructed in Francis Joseph I. You heard about him because you have already been in Austria sometime. So when he had his 50 years anniversary on the throne, this was in 1898, and it was also this year when his wife was murdered, the famous Sissi. Yeah, so for that they built a chapel, a Sissi chapel, in one corner of this church. But the style is the one that orientates itself after the past. When we drive in direction to the city,
the Ferris wheel will be coming up on your side.
In front of us,
the Ferris wheel at the end of the town.
Trees on those sides.
We get to the park.
Top of the steeple of
you can walk to that too.
So you know that we are exactly driving to the middle of the city. The city, which is nearly 2,000 years old. When we think back, and later on I will show you some excavations, when we think back we come to the Romans. Of course, we're not everywhere in Germany, in Europe, where the Romans, the Danube was then the border of the Roman Empire. But before we go on, have a look to the left-hand side. There's the landmark of our playground, the Prater. The landmark is this Ferris wheel.
It takes an hour for that to go around.
Iron Ferris wheel.
An hour. So if you're going on it, you got to get
and
there.
It was also built for this 50 years anniversary. So it was then a fair.
Did you say there was Bank Austria?
I had to give something to them. Then the Prater is the name of this playground. The Prater was opened to the public. We pass a railway station here on the left-hand side. You see the Northern Railway Station.
There's all the lights.
The rails cut the square. So this happened after the middle of the 19th century, when in Austria the railway was the railway time began. So it was not before 1860. The Prater was also born there, but another place was Johann Strauss' son. Johann Strauss, you know, the one who wrote the Blue Danube Waltz, and he lived in this building, which is now the facade. You see the facade with the scaffoldings there in the first floor, and it is now the Strauss Museum that can be visited. So it has the old furnishing and equipment of the time when he lived there. This was in the beginning of his career. Later on, he became quite rich, and then could buy a house for himself in the district beside Schönbrunn, so the very fine region in Vienna. You know, Schönbrunn is a summer palace, and so who could pay real estate there or a house should be, should have money. Another thing which is important to know about the second district, this is the second Viennese district here, and you see when you look to the street signs always the 2 in front of the street name. Yes, the second important thing is that in the 19th and early 20th century, the name of this part here was Matzesinsel, Matzes Island. You know, Matzes is the bread of the Jews. Matzah, yeah. So most of the 180,000 Jews that lived in Vienna before 1938 lived here in this part of Vienna in the second.
Now we got another big
And
bus.
of course, after the
And
time
there's
of
another
National
bus.
Socialism and after World War II, everything was gone, nearly the whole culture. But we have Jewish life again in this, especially in this part of our city. It began with those people that came from Russia, Ukraine after 1945. So with them began the new community to grow again. So. A question about the murder of Sissi here, and so she was visiting somebody at the Lake of Genève, and when she wanted to go to a ship, an Italian anarchist murdered her. He wanted to let people know who he was, so. It was more or less by purpose that she was the victim. No, not her husband. There was somebody else, a European king, I can't remember. It was his aim. But he didn't come, this one didn't come, so then he thought, she was anonymous there, but because of the people that surrounded her, he thought she might be something important. He didn't know that she was the Empress of Austria. So, he just wanted to let public know that he was great. So and glass facade, and in the evening, maybe you saw it in the evening with all the
That lights up at night.
lights on the facade. It's really, really interesting, and such a contrast to the other side of the Danube Canal. When we now cross the Danube Canal, we come to this part of Vienna where the first settlement took place. Because this canal was, before the Danube was regulated, the main branch, and this was also the border of the Roman Empire. So everything northern of the canal is an island here between the big Danube where your ship is, and is also in a way the wrong Vienna. Because everything for the first hundreds of years, more than a millennium, took place on the southern side of the Danube. But you see also that the Danube Canal is more than just a canal. It is a place where we can spend a nice summer eve. Of course, today it's a little bit cooler, and so it's not so busy, everything here. Yeah, well, this is the ring. You remember, we just passed the Orania. On the left-hand side, and the next large building with these interesting heads, with the different headgears above the... no, you can't see it,
on the other
but
side.
you will see it when we go on. Above the windows in the building was as a war ministry. So this is why we have this decoration. This is also why you see this armed people above the entrance, and you see the Field Marshal General Radetzky there on his horse in front of the entrance. So now there are other ministries, social ministry and agriculture and all kinds of ministries inside. We pass the Chamber of Commerce on the right-hand side. And then when you look to the left-hand side, you see this building with the brick facade. And this is wanted. They wanted to show that people work there. So they took the idea from the first factories in England to build this school of arts and crafts. And the students, the pupils there, they could learn in this museum of art and industry, which is now the Museum of Applied Art.
And we remember the blue building and everything, so we can get back.
Behind is the site of the old university, and now on our left-hand side the city park, and on the other side, opposite the city family of the emperor's family, but the others were opposite the class members in the end of the 19th century. So it's the same time when they built these official buildings, the museums, the parliament, the city hall, and so, and these palaces in between, some of them after World War II, when there were destructions or when it was necessary to tear them down. Have a look to the right-hand side. You see a little bit what remained from the former fortifications. This brick wall there. So this was
go up a little farther, a little bit farther.
Edge of the city there. So everything what we see here on the bigger houses,
the sign's in the way anyway.
On our right-hand side or on the left, it was possible to lay out the ring. The ring that we drive now, that you drove yesterday already, and so then to lay out the parks and to ask the best architects in the monarchy. Look to the left-hand side. See this statue, the golden Shani. Yesterday it was illuminated when you passed it. Did you pass it? Yes. So then, and did you hear Strauss
On the other
waltz
side.
music?
I'm not going over there.
No waltz. He performed his concerts there in the spa salon that you see on the left-hand side, and there is still left this little pavilion in front of it where he and his orchestra
On the other
performed.
side.
The lazy that lived in these palaces.
Left-hand side. There's the
And,
statue.
because only they had the time
The
to listen
statue up
to
now.
concerts in the afternoon or
Now
in the
you
evening.
probably get the statue,
Most
then
of
we're
the people
past
had,
it.
to work. Instead of these institutions in the ground floor of these buildings, which are part of just general shops, bakeries, sugar bakers.
This is the circle we go around, but I don't think we come.
So this is different from the situation now, and of course also of the situation with the cars.
I see if we go all the way around the circle or not. This is where they let us off. No, there's the main street there. Okay, there's McDonald's.
The noble family, high noble family, they are princes. They exist until now, especially in Czech Republic. The head of the Schwarzenberg family wanted to be president in Czech Republic at the last election. And they possess in the end of this square their former summer palace. You can see it now on the left-hand side. In front of it is this fountain, it's a high fountain spout. And the
There's a
Russian
McDonald's.
unknown soldier. Yes, and now we pass the
There's a bank.
Hotel Imperial in Italy, and there was a world
1873.
exhibition here in Vienna. They opened this wonderful hotel. This is among the best that we have in Vienna, and in case of state guests here in Vienna, so they stay in this hotel. Another grand hotel in the right, and then more of them on the left. On the right you see the Bristol next corner, just beside the Opera House. Yeah, so this was really the most elegant part of the ring, which has the shape of a horseshoe, not really a ring, because the two open ends are at the Danube Canal. And now we are exactly in the middle, and in the middle there is the Opera House. So on our right-hand side, and when it was finished, it was the first building finished after the ring had been laid out. So it was the court opera, the music theater of the emperor. They had another theatre just for theatre pieces. But this was especially for the operas and concerts and ballet.
This trip.
Now later on we
I tell her my Christian
can walk along there.
love my new car.
And you can also see that behind the opera house there is the famous
I don't think I can see that
Sacher,
far.
hotel
She
restaurant
can see
cafe.
that
Did
far,
you
but
hear
we
about the
can't.
Sacher cake? The cake, yeah, well, this is brings them a third of their fortune.
The top of that building says Porsche.
So you look on the right-hand side into the pedestrian zone of Kärntner Straße that connects the opera house with front on the right-hand side of the
Oh, look
opera.
at that.
This is the only original part of this building.
This is the
The
opera
other
house.
parts were destroyed by bombs in the end of World War II.
The opera house.
So it's the right, Schiller on the left in front of the old Academy of Fine Arts. And now here already the Burggarten. Burggarten, Palace Garden, was the private park for the emperor and his family as guests, and not before the monarchy ended in this World War I. This was a public space. Now it is very, very popular, especially in the summer. We have picnics in there, little concerts, and people like to lie there. It's a natural garden with a nice. And it's one of the oldest gardens that we have in Vienna, as old as the Volksgarten, which you will see later. They were laid out already in the 1820s, this was the time when nobody thought about tearing down the fortification, but it was necessary to do this here in front of the palace, because this was one of the conditions Napoleon had ordered before he finished the besiege of Vienna in 1809. Maria Theresia sitting there on the left in midst of the place that is named after her, in between the two former court museums, Museum of Art History and Museum of Natural History. In the end of the square, the former stables, the imperial stables. On the right-hand side, the gate. All the parts of the imperial palace, and this wing on the right-hand side with the flags on it, the Leopold wing, is now the seat of the years, is now the highest representative of Austria. And these are Roman and antique in a way. It has to remind us of the idea of democracy. On the left-hand side, yes. It is holiday now, so this is there is nobody inside, and everything is empty. And we have this wonderful rose garden on the right-hand side, a part of the People's Garden of the Volksgarten.
See Barb's head.
The Parliament on the left-hand side, the tower of the City Hall in front of us, above the trees. That when you look a little bit straight to the left, on the top of the City Hall tower, the medieval soldier with the flag. This figure with the flag has a height of 7 meters, and this is all from iron. You wouldn't imagine that these totally different buildings are all from 1870, 1880, and this is what I wanted to tell you, that the typical signs of this era, second half of the 19th century, is the park there on the left, the square in front of the City Hall with the annual Summer Film Festival. From 11 o'clock in the morning you can already eat and drink there. They offer different things around this square in the huts there. Wonderful. We just passed the Theatre, now National Theatre, with a very well-known, best-renowned coffee house here on the right-hand side, the Café Landmann. Tradition of this coffee house goes back to the 19th century, when famous people who taught at the university, which is now to be seen on the left-hand side, or who worked in the on our left, when they spent their breaks in this coffee house. So we know it, for example, from Freud, that he has been there every afternoon in this, have his coffee and a cake there. Sigmund.
There's coffee house.
We have a lot of students, 120,000 every year here in Vienna, but yeah, as I told before, everything is now in holidays. The pupils, the students, the parliament is empty. Yeah, and now here on the left-hand side, a nice church. Not St. Stephen's Cathedral. It's a church that was built after a vow that did the younger brother of the Emperor Francis Joseph, when his brother had been attacked by an Hungarian nationalist, but he overlived this 25 years until this church was finished at the date of the silver wedding of Francis Joseph and Sissi.
There's all the horses up there.
And the stock exchange on the right-hand side, the former stock exchange, is no longer used for money business, but has still, that also shops.
That's really pretty.
A new hotel on the right-hand side, in
Oh,
a
look at
building that was planned as a hotel but never opened in the time when it was built. And on the left-hand side, have a look to this mini. I'm nearly from the same time as the
I knew I should have been on this side. Going to the left. It looks better on the left than it does on the right.
After the war. But nevertheless, and you see now on the right-hand side the K47, because everything is under a strict memorial protection. And the first district, with some parts around, are World Cultural Heritage. And that makes it still more complicated to change something. And this is also the reason why the first district on the right and the second district on the left are so different. Because there, on the left-hand side of us, there is not this strict memorial protection. So they can build higher houses, interesting architectures. So the architects have much more possibility to have
there's a
their
statue.
own ideas developed. The oldest church on the right-hand side, St. Ruprecht's. He was the patron saint. He is the patron saint of the Salzburg
The oldest
Cathedral.
church is on the right-hand
And,
side. We're on the
this
left
church
now.
is from a time when Salzburg when Vienna was part of the Salzburg diocese. Looking to the right, we'll see St. Stephen's again. So this is
This is where we're going to get off,
middle street.
if we did last time.
It divides the city center in two Schwedenplatz here.
Yep.
And on the left-hand side, this is a landing for the boats that drive from Vienna to Bratislava. Bratislava, the neighbor city, capital of Slovakia. You need only, with the ship, only 70 minutes to come from here to this interesting old city, which was so we come back to our tour round the boulevard. This is necessary because we have only one street where we can drive inside of the first district into the cathedral, and this is what we will do. But before of that, you remember you have on the left-hand side this former war ministry. What I didn't mention, when you look on the right-hand, no, this is here on the right-hand side. Ah, yeah, okay.
Left-hand side.
So
Right-hand side.
have a look to this gap here on the right-hand side. You see a very important Art Nouveau building, the Postal Savings Bank. No? Otto Wagner, he is really one of the forerunners of modern architecture in Vienna.
The bus come through anyway.
This building from 1906. This is the same for the army. The army looks back and the bankers look in front. So this is, they wanted something functional. And the army wanted it representative. So this is makes the difference between these two buildings. It's, this Postal Savings Bank has a very, very important hall, a glass hall in the middle, and something very new and revolutionary for this time. A nice coffee house. I didn't mention it earlier. On the right-hand side, the Café Brückel.
Cafe house. Lots of
So it's also on the corner, as you remember, the Café Landmann that we saw before. But well, this is not so elegant. So the Brückel is more for the average people. So at least in times when it was built, so it goes back like the house in which you have it on the ground floor from the beginning of the 20th century. Okay, now we turn to the right now, opposite of the city park, and we come nearer to the cathedral.
They do become smaller and smaller. I hope it's a one-way street, but I don't think it is. Woohoo! We should have the number 21. Then we'll go into the receiver.
Together here in front of the cathedral, I want to show you a place where you have a wonderful photo view. Romanesque churches. This is the Gothic church, and you can see when you compare the choir with the North Tower, that this is very different when you compare the ornaments. It is over and over crowded, the tower. So this is the last exciting development of Gothic, and it was also the end of Gothic. This is the reason why they didn't finish this tower. So, of course, they had also not the money, but it was also because Gothic was in the 16th century out of fashion. It was the time of Renaissance, and Renaissance hated these overcrowded things. You must know that the name Gothic for the whole style was invented by the Renaissance artists who used it because they found it barbarian. For them, the Gothic tribes, they were barbarians. So this was the beginning of this naming. Okay, so you see the choir from the beginning of the 14th century, then the tower from the beginning of the 15th century, and the North Tower again some decades later. You can, of course, visit the church from the inside. There it will all be much more harmonious than here from the outside. So then it looks more as if it was from one side. So this is interesting to know. You can take in the side, in the left side aisle, an elevator to this platform there. Can you see it? The platform on the North Tower.
Right.
So this would be a possibility to look around the city village.
Yeah. You can see them up there looking around.
Yeah. And you pass part where the big bell, the biggest bell, one of the biggest in the world, hangs. So it's also interesting to have a look. Okay, let's go around.
Going around the church. Going around the church.
Have you been in Salzburg?
No.
On the trip, but you know that Mozart, the composer Mozart, came from Salzburg and had the gist of his career here in Vienna.
Right.
And I want to show the gate. Or we can even pass it and then come back.
Okay. When we look through the gate, Mozart. Going down to Mozart Gate. Souvenir shop, toy shop. Oh. Okay.
So this is not so nice, but I will stand a little bit set back, and you have just a look to this high building. This was where in the first floor, you see the illuminated window there, where Mozart lived for 4 years.
Okay.
This is the only authentic place in Vienna where he really put the foot on the ground. So this, the whole building and the one beside is now the Mozart House of Vienna. You can visit it in case that you are interested in music, and you stay in the city or come back in the afternoon or tomorrow. Some of you stay in Vienna. Would be a nice thing to visit the museum above. So I mean, ruled, and this was the time of Enlightenment. So a very interesting time here in Vienna. Okay, so then.
Okay.
Until there was a cemetery that surrounded the cathedral as early in these times. And so from this era you see the gravestones around. Yeah, we have a break later. I just wanted to inform you, go round with you. You can go. The Viennese people named it Our Lord of the Toothache.
Lord of the Toothache, huh?
Yeah, well, he looks as if he had an aching tooth. It is as many figures around. It is a copy. So it is because you saw already when you looked at the stone, it is limestone, and So through the centuries, rain and air pollution and all that, of course, damaged the material. All the black parts are from air pollution. Okay, so let's leave the
Oops, sorry.
the Lord. People like to pray to them when they are making food. Here on the right hand side you see frescoes that were kept because it had been painted with white color through the century. The frescoes are from the 15th century, so it's old Netherlandish painting. And we are really glad to have it, and it is now conservated, so it's protected with the glass. Yeah.
Oh, here's another one. Somebody's cleaning.
Yeah.
They're cleaning.
Okay.
They're cleaning. Oh, what's this one of? She's not even going to tell us this one. What's going on? Woo! It's windy. Okay, stand here with me and go right. Okay. Oh yeah, where they clean part of it, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
They started
So,
restoring.
Yeah. I think this view up gives you the feeling of the people of the Middle Ages, when they really couldn't understand that somebody was able to build something like that. Yeah. So it is. We have so many fairy tales and sayings about that tell us from devils, from angels, saints, from God. So because they could only imagine it with the help of somebody else, of somebody not human, such a building could be. These are clays. Tiles are from clay and then painted and burned. It's an old tradition. The roof was destroyed in the last days of the war when the Russians had marched in and plundered us, had looked for things all around because of the time that happened, so nothing was secure then. So they put these buildings in fire, and so from there. So it is totally different. The architect is Hans Hollein, and then there was no World Cultural Heritage. I think now they wouldn't allow a building like that. But it is interesting how the reflection shows all the different buildings around, also the cathedral, and it changes with every step that you do.
Right.
Really have a look how damaged the cathedral, and of course also the surroundings.
1945. How damaged it was.
So more than a quarter of all houses, all buildings in Vienna are destroyed in the end.
He'll go through. That's okay. I'm beginning is going through. Let's check it out.
There are things.
Entrance gate to the cathedral.
Model of the
Oh, there's a model over there. We missed it.
see it later.
Okay.
Also touch it if you want.
They're working on cleaning it.
This church is disguised behind scaffoldings. But they try to help us with the photos. So this is a good development. Of that what is behind. They had advertisements on the top of the tower, advertisement for lingerie. So it was so funny. Then you have to pay an entrance fee. But when you just say there is only one opening on the left-hand side in the fence. Huh? When you say you just want to pray and then sit somewhere in a bench, and of course then you must not pay. Huh? And when you don't want to go around, just stand in the background, have a look.
Because I don't know how to adjust my camera for this. But I can get the column. I can get these columns. Here's the second column. Third column I can't see. Second column I can see. There's the column right here. And up. And here's the column there. On down. But the picture would not work. Hopefully somebody else has got a picture. center of it. And then
Next time.
What is the financial support for a place like this?
Oh, well, they get it from the state and, of course, from the church.
You have a church tax?
We have a church tax, but people tell how much their income is. So then, of course, they lie.
So it's really mostly state support.
Yeah, we have a memorial fund. So then from the lottery, they give money. So all different parts.
There's a reconstruction.
They have you remember there is the Danube Canal. This was more or less the northern border of the camp. Then this here to the next street was the eastern border. And then when we walk along the Graben, the southern border. So now you have one side of the camp. So you can imagine how big it was. Okay, so then let's walk around the new Haas house. Whoops.
okay.
This man there, up there, you know the top? One single man.
Oh, I gotta go catch that litter.
Yeah, but you see the high tower, you see the nave, and also the older facade with the Roman ornaments. So it is really no place where you can take a picture from the whole building. But it's, yeah, well, we are too narrow, and when you are far away, you can't see it any longer. Every part. Okay, so then when we surround the corner, and you will not see
Around the corner and up the steps.
No, not the chain. So they have all over Vienna, but only in Vienna, as I know, these coffee houses, and they have these old-fashioned furnishing with rosé and brown, which goes back to the 50s. The Kärntner Straße that goes on in this direction, you remember from the bus, when you go down there you come to the Opera House. And also to the Sacher. So when you want to eat Sacher cake, but I'll show you another bakery who sell also Sacher cake, but not original. I mean, in every cooking book, every household, you find the recipe for Sacher cake. So. But and because of that, you will very soon lose the cathedral out of your eyes. And you can see when you compare the side streets, especially the following one, with this large here, which is more square than a street. Then the real size of old lanes can be seen. This place here was a marketplace since the 12th century. So, and before it was part of the fortification that surrounded the Roman temple. We are walking on as inside the office. Yeah, this is the oldest part of the city. Yeah. Yeah. When you look back, you see one of these mobile fountains that we have always in summer in Vienna. This one there, you see, you can drink water. Until yesterday, we were so glad to have them. Today is not necessary. Nobody is standing there. But yesterday we were lining up. I don't know if they told you that we have this wonderful water in Vienna. Since the 1860s, we get the water from the south, from the Alps, from springs there. And the region of these springs was bought by the Viennese government in this time, in the 19th century, so that we have this wonderful spring water, every household. So you can drink it wherever you are, in the hotel, in the restroom, not where you need no drinking water, of course.
That's what I wanted.
Oh, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
When you're not supposed to have it.
This very, very small street leads from here to Josefsplatz, Joseph Square with the library. And in the middle of this street is the Jewish Museum, if somebody is interested perhaps for the afternoon. So it will be open today. And one of our oldest coffee houses, the Café Havelka, the one. On contrary to others that you see here around the cathedral, it is not at all as elegant. But meanwhile, the Café Havelka. Where is the coffee bean from? Where is the coffee beans? Well, they come from Africa, they come from South America, so wherever.
So you roast over here?
We have different firms. For example, you see this company Chibo, this is a German company, but we have also these roasteries. And Italian, of course, for the espresso.
Uh-oh, Felicia. What are they called here?
Here in front of us, this interesting column has a name that reminds us of very bad times. The name is plague column. Plague was a disease that punished people through centuries, and it died out not before 1800 something. This column was donated by the Habsburg Emperor Leopold I after a very bad disease when 60% of all Viennese people died in 1669. So there was first a very simple wooden, in the 16th century, in the end of the 16th century, 60% or so, that's a little bit more, were Protestants in Vienna. And only with the will and the power of the rulers, of the Habsburgs, they were forced either to become Catholic again or to leave the country. So many of them left. Then I heard from a last group that many of them went to America. So others to France, to Prussia. And in these countries, they helped a lot for the economy. And here it was empty. So it was very bad for the country. Like when they asked the Jews to leave the country. Yeah. So because they were mostly very industrial, they were intelligent, and the religious advertisement with the emperor in the middle who prays for his subjects, but it is also a political statement. When you see this crown there, the crown and the coat of arms. Yeah? So this is Hungary. On the other side, you will see Austria, and on the rear side, Bohemia. These three were the crown lands, so the core of the Habsburg rulership since the early 16th century. Something especially interesting when you look to the right side of the coat of arms. you see this double cross. And this is now the coat of arms of Slovakia, Bratislava. This is the hill in Bratislava where the Hungarian kings were crowned. So it was, as I told you before, Slovakia was before World War I part of Hungary. And until the 18th century, so still Maria Theresia was crowned there King of Hungary. There it is still part of Hungary, but in the meantime, it is a country of its own.
And then the other, oh, I should have got a picture of that.
Did you get it? Yeah, the other side is the Habsburg crown.
That's the Habsburg.
And, the Habsburg, the imperial double-headed eagle. The double-headed eagle is always the eagle for the emperor. When it has only one head, it's the king.
One head is the king.
So you have these double-headed eagles, also the Tsar of India. So we know it also from other highest titles. Always with two heads. Double heads better than one. Yeah. Wonderful church
And milk, yeah.
All over and over high baroque ornations, ornaments. So from the same time,
Oh, that's from milk.
300 years old, is this little church, St. Peter's. So when you have time later on, then don't miss to have a look inside. And there, just in front of it, there are these famous restrooms from the early 20th century. You see there, Herren is Mr. And Damen is ladies, women and men. And when you go down, you have wonderfully restored the equipment from the early 20th century. This is secessionism. Secessionism, so the time when, for example, this building was erected. This is a good example for this style around the turn of the century. Come on. From this nice area here. So it's an ensemble of all different styles and buildings and shops. And it is something, this street is something like the salon. The cheaper shops, the most expensive shops, and these you will see when we walk now, when you turn to the left and walk along the Kohlmarkt, one side of the Golden View. And also here is in these streets, Kärntner Straße, Graben, Kohlmarkt, where most of the court supplier shops, as long as we had the monarchy. And in this tradition, they are more elegant. There, because this street is quite short. So the international brands, they needed more space, and so an investor bought a whole block there, and the Louis Vuitton, which is one of the most expensive brands, is the first one in this new golden quarter.
Look at this one.
Yeah. So here, the first view to the palace.
There's the view to the palace.
So the entrance in one line with this street here.
Entrance gate, yep. There's a big entrance gate.
and a thoroughfare. I mean, it's nothing more.
Right, it is.
And it is the Demel. Imperial Royal Sugar Bowl. And inside, and I want to give you just 10 minutes, but I can't go inside for all of them. So maybe who is interested, which should have a look inside. We have the equipment from 1888. And they have a wonderful chocolate shop. With all sweets
chocolate shop. Actually, watch them making the chocolate. Oh, they're actually making the chocolate. There's the castle.
das ist gut zum Mitnehmen da.
Come on. Okay, here's the palace. Here's the palace.
It's so cold today. Don't go away. You like Vienna?
Yeah, I love Vienna. Yeah. They sold the original recipe for the chocolate cake. Saha.
Plate and the flags above. So these are the Viennese colors, red and white. Normally, our coat of arms in Vienna is the red cross on the white ground. You see it on the motor, on the cars. These informations, you find it all over the city, and they give you the name and the date. And from far, they invite you to have a look to this special building. It is like a landmark, this first shield. And then, and then in the tourist information, they sell a little booklet, which is about €9 or so. So cheaper than all the other books about Vienna. And you find all the numbers in there and the information to every number with a picture. So for me it is the best and most and less expensive thing about Vienna architecture, history and all that you could have. The tourist information is behind the opera. No, not this. We haven't bombed inside of the city. So the opera house was destroyed by purpose. We don't know really why. We think that the green long roof they thought it might be a station, a railway station. But normally they wouldn't destroy with the bombs cultural objects. So it was different from Dresden, for example, or Munich or Berlin or so, where they wanted to destroy the whole cities. So here in Vienna they wanted just to kill the life nerve by stations, bridges, harbors, and of course military things. Yeah, have a look in front. There is a wonderful example again that things in Vienna that look so homogeneous, they are from different time. The left part is from the early 18th century, but without the dome. And the rest is from the late 19th century. They had the design made by Fischer von Erlach, by the son, but without this dome. But in his time, time, they finished only the riding school. This one on the left-hand side, we walk along later, is the Spanish riding school, the former court riding school. But then, there is now the gate. There was a round building which housed the theatre. And they tore this down when they built the theatre of the ring. So, and then, not before that time, they finished this entrance gate. And this was then in a time when they also created this imperial way between the palace and the cathedral that we just walked.
St. Michael's Church. This is St. Michael.
From a later time is the decoration and choir.
Smile, you're on candid camera.
Antiques, it means something different. I don't know these things.
That's the stables.
So here from the outside and inside the ground floor are the stables.
The horses are in there.
Out beside the Imperial Spanish riders.
Imperial Spanish riders.
And they use it until now. Since the end of the monarchy, the Lipizzan horses are in possession of the state. So they are also a brand, an Austrian brand. They use for advertisement. Sometimes they send the horses to other countries. They have even been in America. So now on the left-hand side, through these glass windows, you have a look to the open stables. From around about 80 boxes, they have only these.
Let me throw this so I can get it on here. I'm not getting it. I think I'm...
Have this look out, and some others like to be separated. So, but they change all in between. Can you see this horse in front of us? Normally you speak about the white horses, and this one is really black. So in gray is still very young. So when they are born, they are black. Foals are black. And then the first years they stay in the stud farm in Styria. Forgot the name. People. Only on Sunday, but the exercises are every day in the morning. So in the morning they are exercising there, some of them, in the riding school. So and every horse has to be moved every day. They have also the summer riding school behind in the whole floor. Yeah, what I wanted to tell you that in the first 8 to 10 years they lose their black hair. So not before that they are white. So you can see when they look so like this one, he must be quite black. They are all stallions. So we have no studs here. No male. But they are used from time to time in the stud farm. So they bring them back for what they think. They were used until the 1950s. So they recovered this wonderful architecture then, and they set it free. Yeah, and now it is like originally. You see all these chimneys on the roof. So this was also something to demonstrate how rich and powerful we were, because not every chimney goes down to another.
Will we get any chances even once exercise?
Yeah, well, you could, and you have to separate. Oh, it's still 20 minutes.
This was the pharmacy of the court. Still have the pharmacy. Sissy took the cocaine for her depression and didn't know it poisoned her. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in your way.
On land. Yeah, you must be very cautious.
I know. I'm trying to get your talking because it's not getting it on here.
Okay, so yeah, we crossed the bridge, and then I want to show you the excavation. Found them when they constructed the pedestrian zone, which began on the Kärntnerstraße, then Graben and Kohlmarkt followed, and then they prepared this square where until that time the tramway had been. So this was not an empty place. When you look down, so they found
This is the Roman.
In the other corner,
A house, well, from medieval time. They preserved this to remind us of 2,000 years in this place. Memorial to that time. Alright, look back along Goma.
See the neoclassic facade of St. Michael's. After this church, everything is named around here. Michael's Gate behind us, Michael's Place, the big Michael's house, the small Michael's house. Yeah. Only very, very different is this building in front of us, on the left corner of the Kohlmarkt. And this is one of the first modern houses that we have in Vienna, and it has a different material. Meanwhile, all the buildings around, not the church, but it's older, but all the other buildings around have a floor from brick. And then they are covered with plaster and stucco. But this building is already constructed from concrete, our material, so the modern material. And the architect is Adolf Loos. Adolf Loos, private buildings, offices, bureaus, shops.
And here's all the horses. Oh, follow her. Keep going. Spanish Riding School. 35 meters.
The dome that you saw from far.
That's the dome we see from far.
And passing through here, you see that it is really nothing else than a thoroughfare.
Here comes the horses.
It's not for public
traffic. When you look to the entrance to the museum, the Imperial Apartments, you see the silhouette of Sissi.
Oh yeah, you do see it. Silhouette of Sissi.
Because we have there also the Sissi Museum. When you pay the ticket for the apartment, you can also visit the Sissi Museum. You can read their Imperial Apartments. And Silver Collection. The Silver Collection is in the ground floor, and they show you the porcelain, the cutlery, how they made their tables for festivals, what they drank, what they eat. The Imperial Household. Very good, interesting. Roads on the side, the town wall on one side, a fortification building. So it was, when it was built, it was a time, not a very secure time. So not before the 16th century, when the court really used to live here, began to live here. Then they began to make it a little bit more comfortable. What's the cups? Or dryer.
Our dryer.
Yes.
Okay. Yes,
I
it's
think
the
it is
condensation.
that.
So you think that's
I think it is that. I'm not sure, but I think.
Okay. Tower.
I think two of them you know. The sun clock and the electric clock. And what is the third? No idea? No? You see the golden ball? Yeah. The moon clock.
It's a moon clock.
Yeah, it is. We have now
There's 3 clocks.
So when it turns on the right hand side, you find a smaller and then larger stripe of heaven, the star, the sky.
It's a moon clock. Where's the moon clock?
So on, King, Infant of Spain, Archduke of Austria, Duke of Burgundy, and so on.
Right.
They say and so on. ZC is and so on. Anno in the year 1552. So 1552. So from this time is this wonderful gate. Okay, so
I don't know if I got it or not. The red carpet for you. Here you can touch the stones to the 13th century. Oldest city wall.
you can read it here from a gate in the city wall from the 13th century.
Etching. Sissy in her ballrobe. Sissy in her ballrobe. I don't know if it'll take with the glare.
You know what? Mine didn't do it too bad. Stand right in front of it.
The armory that somebody asked for is in there, and also the museum with all the instruments. And in the ground floor are the reading rooms of the National Library. This is only one couch of the new palace. This information here, you see there is this finished 1913, and this is 1 year before the war began. And after the war, the monarchy was gone. So of course, and small Austrian Republic wouldn't finish a palace. We can be glad that they didn't tore it down and use the stone for something different. But I'm sure so many things got destroyed. So no, they just left it, and this is why we have this wonderful, great place here, which people so besides spring, summer, and so we have the ball season, which lasts always from the New Year's night to the Thursday in front of Carnival. And this is the day, this Thursday, when they have the opera ball. So they empty the opera that people can dance, take out the stools and all that. They they rent the boxes. So and now everybody who is rich and powerful comes to the Opera Ball. This is a state event. Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
This began official time as Sissy.
And then he came to Vienna, and his first speech was on this balcony.
Hitler.
And all the cruel things that happened already in 1938. So in the next year, they began here in the Heroes Square. Yeah. So you should know that. Also, and it was always a political place, this one. Also before and also later. Okay, so then let's go in directly to the City Hall.
Art, engineering.
There you see a round building made from concrete.
All right.
So this is the war building. This is one of 6 flag towers that we have. Flag tower?
Flag tower.
Flag. Yeah, they are from 1943. And they were not destroyed in the war, and after the war they couldn't be destroyed because they had walls from 9 to 10 meters. So when you had tried to destroy them, you had destroyed everything around. So this is why they stand there. They belong partly to the army, to the ministry, partly to a museum. Others are empty. Yeah. One is an aquarium. So with huge fish in every story. Of the resident on the opposite side,
to the resident of
the Chancellor's embassy. So this is really, we call it Ballhausplatz. Well, it's the center of government. Okay, let's pass from the other one, and it is also younger. And you see in the end of it, this memorial of Sissi. It is from 1910, 6 or 10, I can't remember. And when you look from her back,
she's forced to look for the palace. Yeah.
So we have in mind that her husband that.
Yeah.
City Hall.
City Hall.
Part of the Parliament. All around, and the roses in front of us, and still more roses when we go on. Really the same.
It's from the 14th century?
Design as the one. No. In Brussels.
Oh. That's the theater. That's the theater, and this is the Rose Garden, and I missed that. I don't. I see the bus.
Were here the 10 years after World War II, when Vienna was besieged. Over. And so since that time we also say juice, but only for orange juice. And we say also when we say goodbye, we say baba, baba.
Move so slow you really can't tell. Just really slow. Very slow. Like the eye in London. Slow.
You guys, before I all lose, come closer.
That's all. Here's what we're riding on. This is what we're all coming to ride on. We're all going on the big Ferris wheel. Yay! We can't wait to get on the Ferris wheel. I know. It's going to be so much fun. It's really scary.
So big. So solid. Well, I'll put a picture of the car. Yeah. So big. That's really how it is.
It moves so slow, it takes forever to get around.
So big.
There goes the birds. Now where do we get our tickets from? Information Center. Look at it coming around here. Looks like it's going to come right on top of the building. Looks like it's going to come right on top of the building. There's ice. We want to go ride it first, don't we? I don't know. She's going to go find a cafe. Oh, there she is over there. Square. I think we probably go in here to ride the ride, guys. Where's Barbara? I think we go in here to ride it. Looks like it. Looks like the pictures say that. So we're going in here to ride the Ferris wheel. What? I'm not sure where the ride is. I'm following you and you're not sure where the ride is. There goes the blimp. Here's the Ferris. Now we follow him to the Ferris wheel. We hope we didn't get all messed up. Oh, we could have stayed in there and played around for a little while. All on the. We're all on the Ferris wheel going up.
That shows you where you're looking at.
When you get up here.
Too many things in front of you.
Are going up. Not too much back there right now, but you should see the fairground in a minute. Well, we're going up.
I have way too many dinner cards. I don't think that many people have dinner right here.
Can't get nothing on this side.
It's like a plane crane.
Oh, I see. There, there's the mouse. Hides out there. It's unbelievable. Let's go to Jamaica. The Ferris wheel's going. Every time I lean on this and it goes, I think I'm falling out. Oh, you're holding on. I zoomed in when I shouldn't have zoomed in. Woo, we're coming down though.
Yeah, we definitely
We are going down. What goes up must go down. And we're going down. And that was no half hour.
We're coming down fast.
We sure are. We didn't stop. Feel like we're back in the subway. Watch out for the bikers. More graffiti. I don't know what it says, but it says something. I have no idea what it says. Maybe somebody else knows what it says. There's the crane going. We're still building that tower. They're still working on it. And there's the river Adagio. Our ship is going to sail without us tomorrow. We're going to be on the airplane. Farewell.